What's up, everybody? It's your man right here, the one and only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, one of the original road warlords. And as always, bring you the knowledge and dropping the science in this industry of what we call trucking, okay? I'm doing this particular video to speak about the one box system or the emission systems that are in a lot of your post-emission trucks, particularly those trucks and stuff that are above 2011. Some more information and stuff, some more important information has come out, that I find rather interesting. And this article comes from Large Car Magazine. And in Large Car Magazine is a group up here, Pittsburgh Power. Shout out to those guys there and stuff. They wrote a very good article pertaining to the emission system. And so, I'm going to read the paragraph as such. Okay. It states, I was informed that some vocational schools are using this article to teach their students my way of building diesel engines. So I guess I better clean up my act so I don't pollute the young minds reading these words of wisdom. The next two paragraphs of this article were written by our lead electrical engineer, Ethan, and it pertains to the emission system used on the Detroit DD15s and the DD13 exhaust system, which is referred to as one box. The DD15 and DD13 one box contains the majority of the after treatment components all in one unit. The only advantage to this compact design over other systems is it saves some space under the truck. One major disadvantage is that the diesel oxidation catalyst, the DOC, and the selective catalyst reduction, the SCR, elements can't be replaced without changing the entire one box. Only the diesel particulate filters, the DPF, and a few other components can be serviced on the one box system. The causes that cause the repair to increase dramatically, typically around $10,000 after labor, gaskets, and of course, at least one part regen. Shops usually change the one box at a last resort because of its high repair costs, and sometimes it's the only option. Also, the DD15 requires you to validate a repair to clear the check engine light, especially if it deals with the after treatment system. There are several different levels of codes that the ECM can have: an active code, a permanent active code, a permanent inactive code, or just inactive. Some codes are easy to repair, and the process to clear them out of the ECM is also simple. Just hit clear codes. Others, like permanent codes, cannot just be cleared even if the component has been replaced. You must also follow the proper procedure for the code, and most of the time it will require a regen to verify the repair. In the case of multiple codes, this can lead to multiple part regenerations as part of the repair procedure. With active permanent codes, in some cases, it cannot be completely cleared of the ECM. They will become permanent inactive until a drive cycle is complete, and then the ECM will clear the code. Okay, so what it's saying in general and stuff, the reason why one boxes and stuff is becoming issues now and stuff, where they are requesting that you just go ahead and change it out and stuff, is because a lot of the components and stuff, I guess, to the earlier models, they used to could be changed and stuff without even having to change the one box system. And so now all the components are in there. So rather than taking the one box off and stuff and then, changing this, that, or whatever, they just want you to change the whole one box itself. Now, we can see what it is and stuff. And so, a lot of guys and stuff are running into these issues and stuff dealing with the emission system. I myself am and stuff can testify to that. And so, changing the components and stuff, like, changing components, I mean, it all boils down to the fact and stuff that, your one box is bad. And so the sad part about it is that, you don't want to hear it right off the gate and stuff, after getting the truck is that, okay, hey, your one box is bad. It's going to cost you another 10 grand. Nobody wants to hear that and stuff, especially if you just bought the truck. But at the same time, what people have to be aware of is the fact that they know because of the truck having the miles that it has, is that, your one box and stuff, and just to be honest, is that it's a system that's going to go out around 500,000. It's gonna go out about 500,000 and stuff. I mean, every truck I've seen, or every person I've seen with the truck, with the post-emission truck that has the one box system on it, it usually goes out, anywhere between 500,000-700,000. So that's a given there and stuff. The other thing is that I know Detroit was having they was having a deal and stuff where if your truck has been in service less than 5 years, then they will sell you the one box and stuff with the installation at half price. The problem is that, depending on what shop you go to and stuff, I mean, if they can stall it out, they will, because, these rebates or these warranty issues and stuff like that, that's not a real good way and stuff for shops and stuff to make money. So, they don't want to tie up a mechanic on something and then they have to wait months, probably even years or so and stuff, before they even get paid from Detroit. So rather than just saying that's what it is and stuff there, they just go through the ringer of saying, okay, well, you need a knock sensor, you need a depth bladder system, you need some kind of component stuff that goes to the after treatment system, which is probably nothing wrong with it to start with. And then on top of that, they put a flash drive on your truck. And how you know that you got a flash drive on your truck is because if you get an active code, right? If you get an active code or whatever, and then it just all, they clear it out, and then it all pops back up again, and then the truck starts acting irregular. Like, you might have, like for instance, when I went, the day I went to go get my surgery, I had, I had the MIL light and the engine stop light, but yet I was still able to operate the truck. I was still able to operate the truck. The truck wasn't derated or nothing like that. It didn't shut off. The truck ran the entire time, and that's what it was and stuff. And so fault codes and stuff, they come up and then they clear out. Those sort of things there and stuff. That's how people would, they use flash drives and stuff. And so a flash drive is just something that they put inside the ECM to override any kind of fault codes and stuff that you might have in order to operate the truck without having to disable the speed sensor as to why your truck derates and stuff to start with. So, these and stuff are the deals there and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not recommending anybody to I just say use some common sense and stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, use some common sense and stuff. I mean, guys, there's no point in having to keep going back to the dealer, because number one, the dealer is the only people that are going to take up the issue of even fixing the emission system to start with. You can take it to any other shop, and they said they're not going to do it. They're not going to touch it because they know that if they follow the steps, and that's the only way that they can really properly fix whatever's going on with the emission system. It's not to say, well, okay, we can look at it, we can pull the codes up and stuff, and that's that. Particularly with the Detroit system, when they hook it up to the ECM and stuff, man, there's steps that it has to follow. It's steps that it has to follow and stuff. And so, each time it follows the step, okay, and then it runs, and then it runs the test and stuff, and if it clears the code out and stuff, then that's that. If it doesn't, then you move to step 2, you move to step 3, you move to step 4, so on and so forth. Until whatever happens and stuff. And so again, when you got all these codes and stuff that come up, you got what they call a 45-minute regen, which you have to pay an hour service and stuff. And then they also got a 4-hour regen. That's when you got multiple codes and stuff inside of your because of the multiple codes that you have from the emission system. And so again, your truck is regenning for 4 hours, and you have to pay for those 4 hours too, even though the truck is pretty much doing the work and stuff itself. So that's just one of the many things and stuff, man, that goes on with the emission system. Again, I was a victim of that back in August of last year. My truck went in multiple times and stuff. And so the first time that they fixed it, I had to do a 1 hour regen and I had to do a 4 hour regen. They claimed they fixed the issue and stuff like that. And so, each week the truck kept going back till they finally put a flash drive on it. And then, it lasted for 2 months until the truck had to do another part regen. And then, the light comes back on and stuff. And so, it's going back and forth rather than them just saying, okay, hey man, listen, your emission system is bad and stuff. I had the money. We could have just went on here and changed the one box and been done with it, rather than, because it still came up to the same price. The problem is that it would have fixed the problem, right? Or so-called fixed the problem right then and there and stuff. I also would have qualified for the warranty, being that my truck wasn't in service for 5 years. But rather than doing that and stuff, we just throw a whole bunch of components and stuff at it. Still didn't fix the problem. They send the test in only after they find out that the truck has been in service for over 5 years. They tell me about a deal and stuff that I don't qualify for, and then they recommend and stuff from the Detroit dealership and stuff. And this is after they send the test back, which Detroit would have recommended that anyway and stuff. Okay, now you need the one box, but you got to pay full price for it. And this is after having over $12,000 in repairs. So, in a situation like that and stuff, you have to understand where you have to do certain things and stuff like that in order to stay in business. And so, I just went on here and did the surgery. And so, truck's been running fine and stuff, so on and so forth. But again, I can't sit there and recommend that to everybody because, everybody's situation and stuff is the same as mine, because you still run very high risk when performing this surgery and stuff, on your equipment. There's still risk and stuff that you have to take and stuff. And so if you don't have and this is why I say again and stuff, going back to buying a used equipment, if you don't have a very good understanding about the industry and how things work and what you're going to be doing, so on and so forth, your lanes of travel, a real good understanding about trucking in general. If you don't have that and stuff, then I just recommend people just go ahead and get you a brand new truck, because like anything and stuff, there's always risk involved and stuff. But I say the less that the less risk you need to take in this industry and stuff. And so, starting out with a newer truck, I understand it has higher payments. It has higher payments and stuff, but at the same time, if something happens to your equipment, then they will treat you a lot more fairly at some of these dealerships that you got to go back to, because it falls under some kind of warranty and stuff, and it has to be taken care of. The problem has to be addressed, otherwise that and stuff, they get bad reviews and stuff, and that could really affect the purchasing of equipment and stuff overall and stuff, especially when it comes to purchasing new equipment. They don't want that bad rap or that bad reputation. So, they'll jump on it and treat you a lot more fairly as opposed to getting something used. So anyway, I found this article very interesting. This was in Large Car Mag, the March-April 2019 edition, page 37. Again, I want to give a great big shout out to Pittsburgh Power. They are, when it comes to rebuilds, crate motors, so on and so forth and stuff, man, they are the best of the best. And with that being said, it's your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, telling you as always, continue your research, fact finding studies, harness on your skills every day. Until next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.